Hey, what's up guys, it's Fish here and welcome back my glorious bannerman to another online battle for Medieval Kingdoms 1212. So today, me, Apollo, Warrior Sparta and Alex Rambler are having a 2v2. I am playing as Aragon, supporting me on my side is Warrior Sparta playing as the Lithuanians. And then on the other side, who I am facing Alex Rambler on my side of the battlefield, he is playing as Hungary. And then supporting him against Warrior Sparta is Pixelated Apollo. God, I forgot who it was then. I was like, who was it? I just said his name. Yeah, Pixelated Apollo. So as I said, I'm playing Aragon, Warrior Sparta is playing as Lithuania, Alex Rambler is playing as Hungary, and Apollo is playing as the English, which is a surprise. We never get to see many English factions being played. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause it. I'm going to really quickly run through the armies. You can skip it by clicking the annotation if you want, just by just jumping straight to the battle. And then we'll just get this battle underway because it is a really epic one. For sure. Obviously because I'm up against the mighty Hungary as well. My favourite faction and I'm playing against them. Sad times indeed. So, to begin with, my front line of missiles is a peasant archers. They're really nice kind of just engagement force. Same missile damage as every other archer in the game. So I don't really see the point unless you're going to get them involved in melee once the melee starts. Just using these guys as kind of just like an archer force is what I do. And I don't really get them involved. If they get involved in melee, they'll just rout. So I use these guys, and they're super cheap as well, allowing me to spend more money on these more elite, these awesome looking knights. These Aragonian men-at-arms, just awesome. They're really deadly. They're basically just like a dismounted cavalry unit, just fully plate armored. And they're fairly unmatched. There's a few other men-at-arms foot units, but apart from them, they come up against many other infantry units, some lightly armored infantry units. They're just going to slaughter them, no questions asked whatsoever. They're just going to have an absolute crazy engagement and just not really feel the pain of it. Then behind them, I have these really cool Aragonian Marines. They're actually called Marines. They're not actually called Aragonian, but I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. But they're a nice spear unit, a good halberdier unit to hopefully protect my rear line. They also have some really cool helmets as well. They kind of look like the Oblivion helmets. Those look awesome. Then behind that, I have my general. Who even is my general? Is it one of the counts, the lord of somewhere in Spain, which I won't try and pronounce because I know I'll butcher it. Then I have my cavalry force, some really nice Hungarian knights. Not Hungarian knights, some Aragonian knights. These guys are really good on the charge and stuff, but they don't really have any good armor-piercing weapons. I think they mainly are stuck with swords. Which, if they come up against against another heavily armored unit with like maces, they're just not going to be able to match them. They're just not going to be able to do it, which kind of sucks. But because of that, they're still a really nice unit, especially engaging infantry. They do a really good job at engaging infantry. Then I have 2 units of these spear militia. Obviously, these guys aren't going to come up against the Pavese spearmen. Like they're not going to be able to match up against them. But if they do, they're going to be able to hold the line for a little bit. They have long spears, so hopefully they can use that to their advantage. And that is my army. So then facing me is Alex the Rambler. And he is playing obviously Hungary, as I've mentioned. He has a bunch of these Hungarian knights, 3 units on this flank. Again, just glorious. I swear all these replays are just me saying, oh my god, these units look so good. Because they do, but I'll try and stop saying that as much. Probably gets a bit annoying after a while. So he has 3 units of these Hungarian knights. And then he kind of has a mismatch of his infantry line. He has like Pavese spearmen and then swordsmen kind of just like all mixed in with this line, which is a very interesting tactic for sure. It'll definitely allow him to hold in certain places and also put pressure on other places on the battlefield, for sure. You can see he's got 2 units of spears, then he's got a unit of swords, and then another unit of spears, then some more swords along here. So, this allows him to kind of hold in the center and like hold on the flanks and try and push in the center. But his swordsmen are going to be kind of a bit hard match to kind of deal with my swords, just because they're so much more heavily armored. You can see it's going to be chainmail against plate mail, so it's going to be a lot harder for them to actually penetrate my armor. Whereas my swords could actually probably break through their chainmail, maybe. I mean, I have no idea whatsoever. But then Rambler also has brought some peasant archers, and he is supporting them with 2 units of these crossbowmen, which is kind of a nice mismatch there as well. It's got some cheap peasant archers and then some more expensive crossbowmen to penetrate my heavily armored units, which is always smart. It's definitely good considering I have so many men-at-arms. I have like 5 units, and then he has his general back there. Over on Warriors, oh no, this is Pixelated Apollo. He's obviously playing as England. He has 4 units of these retinue longbowmen. Then he has a bunch of these heavy billmen, I think 3 units to kind of make up his front line. Again, these guys are going to be kind of easy pickings for archers if Warrior Sparta can get his archers to find them. Because again, obviously these guys don't have shields. They're not that heavily armoured. So if he wants, he can actually engage them and probably do plenty of damage to them. Then behind that, he has 3 units of these, or like 5 units actually. 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 units of these heavy men-at-arms. And these guys are actually better than my men-at-arms. So it's going to be very difficult to kind of face these guys if there's any left. Because they have a lot more heavy weapons, whereas I'm stuck with a lot more swords. There's his general back there, the King of England. And he's some really nice English knights. Again, I don't really see too many of these because me and Apollo like never play as the English, so I never really get to see too many of the English units. Because we normally stick to the Eastern European factions. But yeah, they're looking awesome. And then supporting his cavalry, he has 2 units of his spear militia. Then finally, we have Warrior Sparta's army. He's playing as Lithuania, which don't have the most heavily armored infantry or the most heavily armored cavalry. But all their units are very good. They're like very good at being standard. And they can definitely hold their own. So here's a bunch of these Lithuanian knights. Just chilling out in the forest, ready to pounce. Then for his main infantry line, he has a load of these swordsmen. These Lithuanian swordsmen. Again, because they're not so heavily armored, he can kind of get a lot of them. Because they're pretty cheap. So he can actually kind of afford to get a bunch of them. And kind of overwhelm the enemy with numbers. Numbers of standard troops, basically. Which is a really good tactic for sure. Then he has 4 units of these archers. Or 3 units of these archers. And also a unit of skirmishers. Which I've literally never seen anyone bring in this mod, like, ever. So this is the first unit of skirmishers I've, like, ever seen, which is kind of funny. Then behind his sword line, here's a bunch of these Lithuanian spearmen, which are basically the same as the swordsmen, just with spears, and kind of a more funky looking helmet. Gonna give him a bit more protection from arrows and stuff. And then he has his general in the back, and then on his far right flank, he does actually have some of these noble fighters, which I think are his top tier infantry unit. So hopefully they'll be able to actually match up against the enemy forces. And I think I have 1 more unit of Marines over here as well, just chilling out. Yeah, I kind of stick my Marines on the flank. So let's go ahead and start this battle already, because it does kind of kick off pretty quickly. We'll just get a bird's eye view of the engagement as we're just advancing. So I need to be very careful here, because obviously Rambler has more archers than me, because he has 4 units of peasant archers or 3 units of peasant archers and crossbowmen, whereas I only have 4 units of peasant archers. I'm going to try a cheap tactic here, which I wasn't really sure how effective it was going to be. This was like the first time I was going to try it out. So basically what I was going to do is use fire arrows to try and rout his archers. You see the first volley is coming in. Because the peasant archers have such poor morale, I was going to try and use that to my advantage and try and rout his archers by using fire arrows. This volley is devastating. Oh my god, so many of them died. So because of that, like, I'm trying to abuse the fact that these peasant archers have no archers, have no morale by just using fire arrows to rout them. And I do a good job. I think I rout 2 units. I also lose some of my units, but they come back fairly quickly. So I can go ahead and bring these guys back into the fray pretty much almost instantly, I think. They come back any second now. I'm gonna turn my focus here. You can see they're already back. And they're going to run back and just carry up the missile volley. You can see I've got 4 units just coming in, just racking up so many kills on these guys. And again, so, Alex Rambler's troops did come back as well, but he's a little bit slow on bringing them back to the fight. Obviously, we're not playing this to kind of beat MLG tactics, we're just having fun, so, you know. So I'm actually going to rout a few of his archers, and he doesn't really notice, so I can abuse that fact. Obviously, killing these archers are going to be a lot more difficult, because they're actually in the trees, so they've got a lot more protection. But my fire arrows are doing good, very nicely, and the spear engagement is going to kick off very soon. Now, obviously, this is not the best engagement for me. Oh, I actually just smash a few of these spearmen on the ground and then run away. Just like, deuces, I'm out. So, yeah, obviously, this is not going to be the best for me because his spearmen are just clearly outmatching mine with their larger shields, better armor. I'm just not going to be doing too good. But all I'm trying to do is just trying to hold up his spearmen so that my cavalry can kind of have a decent 1v1. Obviously, if my spearmen rout and he gets some engagement, cavalry engagement, it's not going to be good for me. So I'm kind of using this as just like an opportunity. Basically, just I'm sacrificing these units just to hold. And I'm pretty sure they will. They're a decent spear unit. So yeah, as I said, I'm just using these guys just to hold the position as best they can. Oh my god, this unit's actually been surrounded as well. Oh my god, look how cool that is. My unit's actually been surrounded here. That is so cool. That's actually really, really cool. I've never noticed that before. Yeah, he actually surrounded my unit of spears on the charge because I was so dense. I was so thin on my charge. Cavalry engagement's going off now. Again, his Hungarian knights are going to be penetrating my armor. Look, they've all got maces, whereas I'm kind of stuck with swords. And my swords just don't quite have the penetration, whereas he has warhammers and he has decent ass maces just smashing through my armor. So the cavalry engagement's just sparing on along here. This cavalry engagement will go on for a long time, so we can kind of just leave it cooking, as it were, for 15 minutes as we preheat everything else. The infantry is starting to get ready to clash as well. I still can't get over how cool this spear engagement is, though. That's awesome, how he's just enveloped me here. So this is what I'm kind of hoping, like, this is what I need to happen. I need my infantry to win these engagements. Oh, brutal. Brutal in clashes. Yeah, I need my sword infantry to outclass his infantry and kind of allow me to envelop his rest of his Pavese spearmen. Because obviously his Pavese spearmen are going to be doing an amazing job at kind of hitting me back. It was also lagging a little bit as well. I do apologise for. I turned on my graphics for this battle as well. Like, it wasn't lagging in the battle. Maybe we'll go just a half speed so we can kind of watch the entire engagement, and that way it kind of stops the lag as well. We'll speed it up when there's a few less units. I don't really know why it's lagging. I think there's probably a bit, but like, obviously when we're playing it's absolutely fine. So I don't really know why the replay is doing it. I guess maybe it's just something wrong with the replay. I don't really know. So I'm going to engage my Marines against his swordsmen. Oh, we've actually got kind of a mismatch of luck. This is weird. How did this happen? Like, I managed to get a unit of infantry through. I guess he tried to outflank me, and then I re-engaged with my Marines, maybe, against his swordsmen. So yeah, it's gonna be a pretty hard task for my men-at-arms to break through these Pavese spearmen. Like, they're gonna be able to do it, but it's gonna kind of tie them up for a long time. So because of that, I really need my men-at-arms to push through his sergeants on the front line, his Hungarian sergeants, which obviously aren't going to be matched. You can see already. Their armor just isn't the same as mine. So my swords are going to be much more capable of penetrating the armor. Obviously, he can use his spears. I mean, his greatest shield to the advantage. But, you know, I'm going to kind of be outperforming him there with my infantry. I've also got some Marines coming in the side, like kind of in the flank over on this sword unit, along the rest of my sword line. God, they look so cool. I love the men-at-arms. Like, just heavily armored plate units just look so cool. I'm so excited for when they finally decide to revisit medieval series for the next, like, Total War, whenever that is announced. Like, it's not gonna be, oh, do I get a nice charge? Oh yeah, awesome. I actually get some of my Aragonian Marines round the side, and I'm gonna come crashing in the back of these Lithuanian sergeants. Yeah, this is going to pin them in place. They're between a rock and a hard place, between men-at-arms and halberdier units. That's going to be pretty brutal, them trying to defend. But yeah, as I was saying, I just can't wait till they revisit the medieval series. It probably won't be the next Total War, but I don't know. Hopefully they will. I mean, I personally think that they're going to go ahead and do like a War of the Roses type era, like 100 Years War. No, not 100 Years War, but like late, like Renaissance kind of Total War, like shot and pike. That's basically what I think the next Total War could be. I think it's a very strong chance for them to do that. But I don't know, because if it's made on this engine, the guns in this, obviously they don't have guns on this engine, so who knows if that will ever come into the game. I don't know, actually. Kind of, if they use this engine, I doubt it will be like a shot and pike. But they could definitely do it. You know, the modders in this mod have shown that you can make the guns work, so, and like cannons and stuff. But that'd be pretty cool, you know, just a quick, easy like shot and pike one, and then I don't know, who knows what the next one will be. Oh, that guy's head is just getting sliced. The infantry line just clashing, and I think it's going fairly in my favour. My men-at-arms are just having a crazy engagement over here. I was going to say field day, but someone was like, Jackie, can you try and use a different word than field day? Because it's giving me nightmares. Just because I say it so much. But yeah, my men-at-arms, they've lost what? How many men have they lost? They've lost like 9 men, and they've killed like well over like 70 men. So they are just doing awesome. They clearly do outmatch the sergeants. which is awesome. Also over here, Apollo and Warrior Sparta have clashed. I think I think Warrior Sparta has actually managed to form.
A unit is running from the enemy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's actually managed to form a shield wall. So that's going to give his infantry a really nice defensive position. Like, even though they are outmatched. Oh, I got his head. See you later. Even though they are outmatched, like, armor-wise, forming shield wall is going to give him a bit more dense mass. And kind of be able to withstand the charge and kind of just keep a decent formation. And even allowing him to kind of, like, flank around the side here. He's getting a few of these noble swords, which are a very nice infantry unit, actually round the side of the engagement. Lithuanian swords as well, if we can actually get over here. Yeah, again, like, they are a bit outmatched, but they're doing very nicely, actually. They're actually pushing. Oh, yeah, no, that's why. Because he has so many more units, he's actually managing to outflank. That's really nice by Warrior Sparta. Actually outflanking Apollo's infantry along the line. You know, because he has so many more units, he can actually do that. And just using his numbers to just completely actually overwhelm on the flanks. Damn, he does this along pretty much the entire flanking line, using his entire spearmen to kind of get around the side and completely crush this flank. Yeah, this definitely shows quantity over quality in this match, at least. Damn, they're doing pretty nicely. Yeah, and he's just absolutely putting the hurt down on Apollo's infantry. However, Apollo does have a lot of cavalry left. That's kind of I guess the trade-off he's done. He's kind of losing this cavalry engagement to win the melee engagement. And if we look at the balance of power, we actually deployed 400 more memorums. Damn, that's a lot. I did not think we deployed 400 more memorums. I guess this is mainly on Warrior Sparta's and Apollo's side, though. And yeah, we're starting to run away with it. We've managed to kind of clean the deficit to 500 men now. A few of his infantry are starting to rout, but the majority of them are holding the line. You know, some of the noble swords are routing against these halberdiers, these billmen. But the rest of the infantry are kind of doing their job. And you can see over here, my infantry is starting to outclass Rambler's infantry now. You know, the heavy armor is really starting to come into play. I'm getting these sergeants. I managed to disengage them against the PVs. Spearmen, I was like, damn, I need to break these swordsmen, really, because I'm starting to actually lose this engagement over in the cavalry side. So because of that, I managed to kind of just smash in the side here. And kind of just try and break these guys as best I can. I think Rambler, has he done it yet? Rambler also got round the side. Yeah, he must have already done it. Rambler did a really nice move, got his cavalry round the side and actually harassed a lot of my peasant archers. You can see all the dead bodies just lying on the floor here. You know, that was from his general, but I managed to chase him off and use more of my marines. You know, again, just quality, like quantity is really proving a factor here. Managed to outflank his PV spearmen. But again, these guys will just hold the line for so long. They're so good. They really are. Just such a solid unit for sure. And the balance of power is still very even as well. So even though we kind of have a lot more men than them, it's still, you know, going pretty in our favour. He's going to shoot a unit of fire arrows, and I think that actually went ahead. And, oh no, it didn't affect these guys, thank God. But they're going to actually rout very soon anyway. There's not many more swordsmen left. Yeah, if we just look at the battle line, like, I'm starting to overwhelm Rambler with my infantry, which is really nice. But again, Rambler is actually winning this infantry engagement whilst we speed up a little bit. Yeah, he's actually winning this engagement. He's managed to push back all my spears, which I'll then allow him to push on my cavalry. And my cavalry is actually getting wrecked right now. If we look at the numbers quickly, I've got 42 in my unit. And yeah, I've got 42 in my unit, and he has 54 in his. So his cavalry, even though it's a lot lightly armoured, like the horses aren't as heavily armoured, because he has the armor piercing, he's really just kind of making up for it, and he's actually winning all this cavalry engagement. And also, obviously, because now he has a spare unit of PV spearmen, he can go ahead and charge these guys into the cavalry engagement, which he's gonna do.
Our allies have fled, the cowards.
He's gonna go ahead and charge his spearmen into this engagement, which will just push it in his favour so badly. And because I can't pull out my infantry, because just you lose so many, I mean, you can't pull out the horses because you just lose so many men when you try and do that. They're just going to get wrecked now the spearmen are involved, which really does suck. I am going to go ahead and charge my general in here though, try and break these spearmen over here. I did also bring up my marines as well. So I'm just hoping if I just keep on hammer and anvil striking this, I'll be able to at least break some of his cavalry.
Enemy units have been rallied.
I'm also going to bring up his general as well. My general's fairly wounded as well. He's down to 27 men. So I need to be very careful with my general. I think I just run him away, because I don't want to obviously engage him in a fight with Rambler's cavalry. But yeah, you can see my infantry has overwhelmed the Pavese spearmen. They have managed to go ahead and push them back. And yeah, the greater numbers of my men and the better quality in certain sections of his line just overwhelmed Rambler, which was really nice. You know, this is like one of the first times I've actually played as Aragon properly. I haven't really played with them too much, so I'm really happy to see how strong they are. They are a very good Western faction for sure. Heavy infantry, heavy cavalry. Even though my cavalry did get beaten, which I'm a bit salty about. And look at my sergeants, just doing a Tuscan Raider, like, just throwing their thing above their head. That's awesome. Yeah, I also look like I managed to catch Rambler's general as well. He does manage to get him out of there, but I think he does lose a few more men. Yeah, I'm killing quite a few of his horses by bringing over my marines. Oh, that guy got wrecked off his horse. Still fighting his Pavese spearmen. Like, even now, like, even still, I'm just overwhelming him on all these fronts. Just charging in with my marines, and his Pavese spearmen are still holding the line.
Enemy general is dead.
So I finally managed to catch Rambler's general, I think with my own general over there, and kill him.
Running, cowards.
So that should hopefully start finishing off the rest of Rambler's infantry. Like, his morale is obviously going to be shaken now. He is obviously winning this cavalry engagement still, which is a bit scary. Yeah, my general actually managed to kill Rambler's general, so it was a risky move. Either way, that could have turned. Like, if he managed to kill my general, but I think I just got a good charge off on him and managed to push him back. So I'm starting to absolutely just clean up now. Look how much infantry I have left. Like, this unit of men-at-arms foot, there's lost 7 men in the entire battle. So I'm just throwing over all my infantry to come in and help out Warrior Sparta now. Because, you know, the English men-at-arms are starting to prove their quality now and actually start pushing back a bunch of Warriors' men, you know. Routed a big portion here.
And are fleeing.
But, you know, I've got so much infantry left that I can kind of support this. But again, like, I'm starting to lose all my cavalry force as well. Rambler's doing a lovely job at cleaning up the rest of my cavalry and just outmatching me with spearmen. I'm trying to get these guys out, but again, I'm going to probably lose a load on trying to get out of there. They're already wavering, trying to retreat. I'm just trying to just move my forces as far as I can away from his cavalry engagement and just help Warrior kind of clean up Apollo, and then we'll kind of just look to clean up the rest of our forces together. So I've actually engaged some of Apollo's men-at-arms with my own marines. My marines are going to persevere though and push through the armor and actually manage to rout them. Again, a lovely rear charge there. Some of my archers coming in as well, I think. Volleying in against these men-at-arms, and they're actually going to run as well. I'll get another good charge as well with my Aragonian men-at-arms. Gonna hopefully just win the day now. Yeah, you can see we've managed to completely just mop up the rest of the rest of the enemy infantry, and now Rambler's going to kind of just do like a last stand with his cavalry, because his spearmen are still kind of doing half decently. And he still has a bunch of his cavalry left. Like, look at the balance of power. We have 1,300 men, and they have 234. Like, and the balance of power is still not, like, hugely in our favor. Like, there's still, like, a possibility. The game thinks there's a possibility that they could still win. Like, it's still slight, but, you know, it just goes to show the quality of these Hungarian knights. I'm going to start volleying in, and just look how lovely these soldiers look. They're going to form square. And just get ready to defend. Or shield wall, I don't even know what it is. I think they formed shield wall actually, or that's what they formed right now. And we're just going to kind of have a quick engagement. He's going to bring his horses a bit forward. Oh crap, I should probably slow it down so we can actually watch this final engagement. I didn't think it was quite as soon. So I managed to catch a bunch of Rambler's knights with my spearmen.
Battle is turning in our favor.
Of course it is. Yeah, there you go. He forms square over here. the last stand of the Hungarian Knights as they get enveloped. The last stand of the Hungarians as my men-at-arms just come crashing in. There's not really much they can do now. They're just going to get surrounded and outmatched. The cavalry as well is currently just engaging the spearmen over here, or they're actually doing lots of damage against the swordsmen of Warrior Sparta. They're just not going to be able to kind of deal with them whatsoever. But I'm going to throw my general in just to try and hold them up. Like, I'm not really scared about losing my general now. Morale's not really going to play a part in this battle. So I'm throwing in my general just to try and slow them up as best as possible. There's going to be a nice sandwich by both mine and Warrior Sparta's general, just cutting through the enemy ranks. That's going to be lovely, and hopefully kill a bunch of them as I try and pull through. As I bring my general back, yeah, you can see. Look at these spearmen. They're fully surrounded now by all manners of troops. They've only got 30 seconds of fight left in them, but look at them go. Look at them try and hold their position as best they can. They're definitely showing their worth as a high-tier spear unit, but they're just not going to be able to do it. There's just too much of my infantry, too much high-quality infantry as well. You know, maybe if this was against weaker units, here you go, they've decided to give up and run, and then my men just come in for the kill. They're like, yes. So it was only a Pyrrhic victory, even though we had like a load of men left towards the end. I don't really see why it was such a Pyrrhic victory. Because look, I have 1,000 men left. I have half my army left. How is that a Pyrrhic victory? Oh well, I don't really know, but that's fine. So cool, let's go ahead and when it finishes ending the replay, we'll quickly look through all the kills and see if anyone racked up a bunch of kills. So my Marines actually did really good. Like 200 kills on that Marine unit, 200 kills on this Marine unit. They did really nice. And again, look how many kills my archers got compared to like his crossbowmen. They got the same amount for his crossbowmen, and there's like a 600 gold difference for their price. So, you know, these archers are just really good. My cavalry got just outmatched and slaughtered against his Hungarian knights, which I was not expecting to be a thing. Oh, I got 5 units of peasant archers. Did not know that. My spearmen got wrecked, obviously. Again, my melee infantry, they didn't do amazing, but they just outclassed them. Like look at these 3 units. They killed 108 and lost like no men. 101 and they literally lost like 4 men in their unit. So my sword infantry just did really nice. Again, Warrior Sparta's infantry all just did pretty standard. A few units of spears did exceptional, but everything else just, you know, did okay. Ramblers infantry, these spearmen did what they needed to do and hold. His sword infantry just wasn't good enough to really push me back. His cavalry were the MVPs for him, racking up 132 kills, just really going to town. And then Apollo, his archers again, I guess, and his knights. Yeah, his knights and his archers were amazing. Oh my god, look at that footmen at arms as well. 223 kills. That's pretty naughty. That is pretty naughty indeed. Even the king managed to kill 74. So I hope you guys enjoyed this replay. Make sure to drop a like and a comment if you did. Let me know what faction I should play next. And I'll see you guys next time. And fish out.